Well, hey there, everybody. It's your favorite mental health rebel. I am Mental Hell. And today we're talking about Trintellix and coming off SSRIs. The day is March 12th of 2020. It is a Thursday. So Thursday, March 12th, 2020. I took my last Trintellix today, but we'll get into that. But nevertheless, so I started taking Trintellix roughly 5 years ago and taking it every single day. I started out with a 10 milligram dose after about 2.5, 3 years, and up to a 20 milligram dose. The entire time I had very generous psychiatrists that would give me samples, because in the beginning, obviously they give you samples. Well, of course, it worked. What did it work on? It completely took out my depersonalization and derealization issues that I had. And it's also meant to help with depression. And it was helping, I suppose, somewhat with that. But the big win was the real help with the DP and DR issues. So, because if you're unaware, say for example, Prozac affects one serotonin receptor, Trintellix affects five. So, obviously, it's doing a lot. It's doing a lot more. I'm not a freaking chemist, so I don't know why, but that's the idea behind it. It's affecting more serotonin receptors. You know, you're getting juiced more, feeling better. I just spoke with somebody today that just started taking Trintellix, and they've only been on it for like a month or so, a little over a month, and they love it. Not surprising. But anyways, this is about coming off of Trintellix. So, yeah, so even the couple times I filled the script, and when I was paying for my own insurance, this is pre-Obamacare, even with the prescription card, it was like $150 a month. And that was still a bit much. Now without the prescription card, if you just want to go get it, it's like $330 or $325 a month. That's $325. It's over $300. That's all I can say. Different places, different regions, it's going to be more. But it's in that $300 a month price range. And you're obviously taking one pill a day. So, yeah. It's expensive. Very, very expensive. So, unless you have good insurance, which I don't. I've been self-employed for the last 14 years. I could afford my own insurance before Obamacare. Then Obamacare came through and screwed us, screwed the middle class, and the people that were paying for their own health insurance. My rates doubled, and then they tripled, and then I had a kid, and then they went up over $1,000 a month, and blah, 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 blah. So this boy couldn't afford insurance anymore to pay for health insurance, being a self-employed individual. So anyways, can't afford it. Well, then, then my business got, things, I had a lot of negative things happen business-wise and stuff, so I definitely couldn't afford it. So I was relying on psychiatrists to provide me samples. Well, that's when I could also sort of afford to see psychiatrists and therapists under my own nickel. Well, then that became not the case anymore. So I had to start going to see a nonprofit psychiatrist, nonprofit therapist, which was fine. They were giving me samples. Then my therapist took off, or I'm sorry, my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist left her practice, which she was okay, wasn't great, but so she left her practice, and then shortly thereafter they said we can't get you any more samples. So we're gonna have to try to get it through our central pharmacy, which will get it to you for $5 a script. I said, hell yeah. I was told before that couldn't happen, because believe me, we asked before, and so we were just doing the sample thing. They said, well, we'll see if we can get it, and they did, and it was $5, and we were all happy. 1 week, 2 weeks, only 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden my therapist is like, they can't do the Trintellix anymore because they can't keep reimbursing it because it's like over $300 that they're paying. It's a non-profit, so they have budgets and stuff. I mean, they could do it to some degree, but they told me, they literally said it was killing their budget. And I believe it because it's a new drug, it's a very expensive drug, and it works. So they said, we got to put you on something else. And we tried Medicaid and we tried some other kind of, patient assistance programs because I just recently am going through a divorce. So I got denied for all of that. Everything. So no assistance for this boy. From the government, from anything, from anywhere. So I made the decision to say, you know what? I don't want to go on something else. I'm going off SSRIs, period. Now, I was on a dose of 300 milligrams of Wellbutrin a day and the 20 milligram dose of Trintellix a day. And I had stopped the Wellbutrin about a little over 2 weeks ago. And that, I should have waned off it, but I didn't. I just stopped it cold turkey. And I had a few goofy days where I was feeling kind of just really not well. But the Trintellix, however, I've been taking it every other day per my doctor's instructions, or, for a doctor's instructions, we'll say, until they run out because they were going to put me on Lexapro or something else. I don't know. So I don't remember what the other pill was at this point, and I don't care because I'm not going on any more SSRIs. So with being off of the Wellbutrin for the last couple weeks, I have seen an increase in energy. However, I'm also dealing with a lot of depressive issues and a lot of things that are just dragging me down and bringing me down. So it's not like it's it may not be the best time to do this, but when is the best time? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, for me, it's like now or never. And that's it. I'm all in, and that's all there is to it. So I've been off Wellbutrin for about 2 weeks now. I took my last Trintellix this morning, so I don't have any more. There will be no more. So this marks the final day of SSRIs. We'll be starting a new treatment plan, my own personal treatment plan. We're going to see what happens with that. We'll discuss that in another video. But this is just about the fact that it sucks. The fact that it just sucks because Trintellix worked, and because it's such an expensive pill, I can't afford it. I'm damn near destitute now. I'm probably a half shy above poverty, and I can't get any assistance. I can't get any help. I'm not one to beg. I shouldn't have to. I'm in the United States of America. I shouldn't have to try to jump through hoops to get a pill that actually works and keeps, and fix the problem. Now, my biggest fear was, will the, depersonalization, derealization come back? Well, I don't know. I have I have a plan, I'm working on. I'm putting, put together. I'm just, I got to get the SSRIs. I got to get that shit out of my system, So today was the last day of that. And we're going to go forward and see what happens. I don't know. Everybody's like, well, what do you think is going to happen? I have no freaking idea what's going to happen. We're all going to find out. And if you give a shit and you're around, well, you're going to find out too. If you don't, well, then I guess you won't find out. I really don't care. It's about my life, and I'm doing what I feel needs to be done. And I'm tired of being medicated, and I'm tired of being a slave to the pill. And, one way or another, I'm going to, become more organic with stuff through diet and, exercise and everything else. And the first step is really getting off these pills. It's not easy. I'm uneasy. I'm supposed to go out tonight. I don't want to. It's been a rough. Days have been rough, and and I don't doubt it because the problem, what I'm finding, and I've done this once before with SSRIs. I've come off SSRIs once before, and the thing that I know that's happening is because it's a mask. I mean, that's why they say you can't, feel emotion and you can't cry on SSRIs, because it's pretty much numbing you out to everything. Depending on your dosage, the higher the dose, it becomes more of a mood stabilizer. and you just pretty much flatline. And it's just, the whole idea is just to keep you calm. It's not fixing anything. That's the problem. I don't know anybody that's like taken antidepressants or SSRIs, that had severe mental illness, that just took some pill and then felt better and then didn't need to take it anymore. No, you're going to take it forever. And the only reason you are is because it's just numbing you out. That's all it's doing. It's do like this much research and you'll realize what you're taking. I knew exactly what I was taking. I knew exactly what it was doing to me. I've been on them and I've been off them before, but I've been on them for a very long stretch. That I'm coming off them now, and I'm having a long line of bad luck happening to me. But nevertheless, this is just marking the final day of SSRIs for Mr. Mental Health, because we're gonna try some different things and see what happens. But again, we got to clear out of these pharmaceuticals. I'm still taking benzos. I'm still taking Xanax for the anxiety. I'm taking one a day in the morning. Sometimes one in the afternoon. I just took one because I'm supposed to go out tonight. So yeah. But nevertheless, I don't know how long it takes. Probably takes like couple weeks, 30 days, whatever, to flush out. But nevertheless, we're gonna start invoking some other kind of treatments and things to try to keep this man as calm as possible without the reliance of anybody, for the most part. As far as that goes, just like within my own head, is what I mean. It's just like I'm tired of trying to get people to understand and all that, and then when things happen and it's just, I'm not trying to upset people. I know this is going to be difficult for me in and of itself. And if you simply just don't understand mental illness, if you don't understand the complexities of anxieties and depression and how they can intermingle and how they can feed off each other and how, little things can turn into big things, but a long line of little things can turn into a huge, big thing. And it just, it just... Anybody watching this that has any level of severe anxiety and depression know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's like being trapped in a labyrinth inside your own mind, and it's just, yeah. One of the reasons behind my decision to stop to taking of SSRIs is because the nonprofit that I was going through, they when my licensed psychiatrist quit, they said my new one would be I would be doing it through a Skype session. So I would be going into a room with a computer monitor, and the doctor would be, like a Skype session. Like, my first thought was like, that seems very impersonable, and it does. And they said, but that's what's happening now. Well, okay, I'm hip to, technology. It'd be nicer if they'd have been like, yeah, and you can do it from your, your place, your home, or your apartment, or whatever. That'd be great too, because then I wouldn't have to bother driving, from Old Brooklyn to Westlake, just to sit in a room with a computer. It's weird. Anyways, well, I did this a couple times, and yeah, it's kind of weird because there's a delay, and you kind of have to talk and then stop. Because then, you know what I mean? Because there's a delay, there's a lag. So you realize that really quick, but you're not used to it because you're used to just talking with people. And, especially doctors, therapists. I've been talking with them for over a decade, and I've never done it like this. So it's kind of really weird. But nevertheless, I'm like, all right. So, but I found out that she's not even a psychiatrist. She's just a nurse practitioner who understands medicine and can prescribe meds based on, your rudimentary feelings and stuff. And literally the last Skype psychiatrist meeting I had, I'd say about a third of the time, because we were discussing new meds. Because she's like, "What did you try? What have you been on?" And I gave her my short list of stuff that I've been on, and in the side effects and how I felt and why I don't want to try them again. And and she kept putting me on hold, and then would go off for literally like 4 to 6 minutes. Like, and I'm just sitting there, and it would just be like a blank screen, and just be sitting there, like, all right, in a room. And then she'd come back on, and be, okay, and then, what about Lexapro, or whatever, the name. And I'm like, I don't know. But she did that a couple times. Well, then in the end, she's like, yeah, I was talking to the doctor. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, do I really want somebody, like a nurse practitioner, deciding my mental health treatment? No. Sorry. I'm sorry. And I get it. I can't afford, you know, I was going to say like grade C, mental health care, but I guess I can't afford F, anything, because I was getting free. And then it got to the point where it's like, well, we can't even get you a psychiatrist, but here's a nurse practitioner just because they're prescribing meds. That's it. But, you're fucking with people's brain chemistry. I know, because I've been dealing with it for years. So I know what it's like. I'm going through it right now. I'm going through all kinds of weird things because I'm coming off of things that control my fucking chemistry. And it's difficult, and it's uncomfortable, and it's painful, and it's annoying, and I'm doing it all by myself. And it sucks, but nevertheless, that's what's happening. So, yeah, that's why, another reason why I'm doing it. There's a few reasons why, but that's one of them. Is because I don't even have a psychiatrist right at the moment. If I don't have a fucking psychiatrist, I'm not just going to take some pills that some chick had to put me on hold to ask some other guy. Like, get that guy on the... Why isn't that guy sitting in front of me? Why am I talking to you? Why am I talking to that guy? The doctor. I don't know about you, but, if you're just willing to pop whatever pill anybody hands you, then great. I'm glad, Unfortunately, I've been on this... in this mental health world for too long now. I've talked to a tremendous amount of people, and I've done a ridiculous amount of research when it comes to treatments and medications and things. And the one thing that blocked all of my organic attempts, all of my organic treatment attempts that are working for a lot of people, was the simple fact that I was on SSRIs, and they were completely blocking all the effects. So I've already tried it. So we're going to try it without the pharmaceuticals and see what happens. But we'll get to all that in another video. This is just about just saying, so long, Trintellix. It was nice knowing you. It's in the system now. It's probably down here, doing its thing, but that's it. No more. End of an era. Man, I love those pills. DP and DR ain't no frickin' joke, people. And anybody out there that fucking has dealt with it knows what I'm talking about, so... Let's hope that doesn't come creeping back, because that would suck right now, because I'm having a fucking long line of bad luck, and that's literally the last thing I need. So we're gonna try to head it off at the pass, if you know what I mean, because we know it could very well be coming. So we're gonna do what we can to avoid it, but we'll keep you up to date. Keep watching the channel if you give a fuck, because I don't care if you do or you don't.